This podcast is intended for mature audiences only.
Tonight's episode is going to be a wild one. We are joined by Blonde on the Bay, a fellow cuckoldress, queen of spades, and a woman who's built a huge following by embracing confidence, power, and unapologetic sexuality. We're talking about the psychology behind the lifestyle, interracial dynamics, submission, jealousy, fantasies becoming reality, and what people still get completely wrong about women like us. So, pour yourself a drink, get comfortable, and let's get into it. I'm Cuckoldress Lexie Meadows, and to get started, I'm going to hand it over to my subby, Chris.
Hey, I am joined by two cuckoldresses tonight. That is pretty damn awesome to have two strong women on the podcast. That is like every man's dream who is in this lifestyle. I'm so happy that we're being joined by Blonde on the Bay tonight. Before we jump into the show, just a couple of quick reminders. Reminder number one is to send us fan mail because we really like to read your questions and answer them at the end of our podcast. It actually makes for really great listening for everybody, because if you have a question on your mind, somebody else probably has that same question. So just go ahead and shoot it to us. And please, we're still waiting for folks to send us voice ones. We want to know confessions too. All you have to do is hit send fan mail on the show notes, or you can email us podcast@cuckoldresslexie.com. Number two is to make sure to follow Lexie on Fansly. You can find her Fansly through her website, cuckoldresslexie.com. And third, please follow us on Blue Sky Social. We are at the Cuckold Marriage Pod, at Cuckold Marriage Pod on Blue Sky Social. We would love to engage with you there. So let's get on with the show. I am so excited to have Blonde on the Bay here with us. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Canada.
Very happy to be here. Thanks. Sorry, I dropped my phone.
No problem. So Lexie and I are going to tag team on some of these, on some questions that we had for you, because your story is so interesting, and we're probably going to veer off from some of this, but so maybe we can just start by you just kind of level setting and introducing yourself to our listeners. For anybody who hasn't heard you on any other shows or anything like that, tell us a little bit about you.
Oh gosh, a little bit about me. Well, I've been in the lifestyle for about 12 years. We got into this because I had my head turned and almost cheated, but I didn't. And my husband said, well, if you want to do this, let's do it the right way, consensually and together. So it still took him another 2 years to convince me. I was sure that this was going to destroy my relationship. And so it didn't, obviously. We went to a club, and I was sure that nobody was going to be interested in me. I was going to prove him wrong. See, now we don't have to do this. I was wrong. And it was a lot of fun. So much fun that I said, okay, we're in this. We're doing this. It was a bumpy road, but since then we've tried everything. I've tried on all of the shoes. We have played with single men, we've played with couples, we've done gangbangs, we've done orgies, we've hosted parties, we've gone to Bliss Cruise, we've gone to Hito, we've gone to 5 Splash Mochas, and now we've evolved into a cuckold dynamic fully. He understood part way through swinging with couples in our early years that he was much more interested in watching me. And I was much more interested in not having him have sex with anybody else at all.
Amen to that.
Wasn't my thing at all. That's mine. I don't like to share. So he was already interested in cages and had been talking about them. And so it was really a natural evolution for us to make that leap into a cuckold dynamic. It was less natural for me to take a sort of more dominant leading role in our relationship. And that's been a bit of a struggle for me. I am getting more vocal when I play and including him more in that way. And now that I also host events, it's given me an opportunity to speak to so many cuckold couples because I vet everybody through video chat. So every single couple who's ever come to one of my events has been video vetted, and I've had the opportunity to have wonderful, amazing conversations. Same with our Black Kings who come. They also share their stories. It's just as interesting to find out how these gentlemen discover the cuckold dynamic as it is to find out how couples find themselves there. So that's sort of where I am now. It's been 12 years, and the only thing I would change is finding this dynamic in the lifestyle sooner.
Yeah. And how did you first get into the Queen of Spades side of the lifestyle?
Well, as everything that's happened, it was brought up by my husband. Oh,
Seems to be that way.
I'd love to see you with a black guy. So I'm like, we went to Vegas, of course, where y'all go. 2017, met a really nice guy there and had a lot of fun. And that was a very natural, very natural progression for me. So I've been black only probably since 2017, 2018. Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people misunderstand the Queen of Spades lifestyle. How do you define it in your own words?
I would say the Spades lifestyle for me is that I just feel I'm very attracted to black men. They have a certain inner quality that is not possessed by other ethnicities of men. I haven't had pushback from black men like I have with white men. Black men carry themselves differently. And I just think they're amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and so many people in this dynamic. That's one of the biggest, kind of almost sub dynamics of this dynamics, if that makes sense. Like you have the broader cuckold dynamic, then underneath it you have certain kind of aspects. Some are FLR, some are Queen of Spades. So you have all these different kind of dynamics layered on top of a dynamic, which I think is pretty cool. And when your husband first brought up the whole cuckolding lifestyle, it brings up kind of a broader question. What do you think separates a confident man exploring this type of dynamic from somebody who's doing it maybe for unhealthy reasons, or maybe they have an ulterior motive? How did you know that your husband's motivation was pure, and how did he convince you after 2 years?
I always assume his motivation is purely self-serving. At least I used to, and now I know that isn't the case. I think what separates a man who's truly interested in this is that he takes the time to introduce it to his wife in a careful and considerate way. A man who doesn't understand the dynamic and doesn't understand the psychology and the emotional stress that he will be under, who thinks it's just all about the kinks, that usually is not going to end well. I get a lot of single men messaging me, either wanting to be my cuck, sorry, I have one, I'm married to him, or wanting me to hold their keys or whatever. And for me personally, that just is not what the cuckold dynamic is. Those are the kinks that are associated with it, but that's not what it is.
Right.
Okay, all right. Do you think that the internet glamorizes cuckolding in a way that leaves out the emotional reality behind it?
I think that mainstream porn has really put out misinformation. I wouldn't say that it's been glorified. I'd say it's been villainized. I think there's huge misrepresentation about the cuckold dynamic in mainstream porn.
What do you think those misrepresentations are?
That men are weak, that cuck men are weak, that they have small penises, that they cannot satisfy their wives, and that they're only there to be humiliated. They're not. These are some of the strongest men you'll ever meet, emotionally and psychologically. It takes an incredibly strong man to want to have his wife enjoy herself with no strings attached. He doesn't need to reclaim her. He just knows she's living her best life, and that's all he wants from her.
Agreed. I've always said that being a cuck is ultimately, you have such power, because you giving up that power is a power move. At any point a cuck can decide, I don't want to give that power up anymore. It takes a tremendous amount of strength to give up that power.
It really does. To be so vulnerable, to put so much trust into your partner. And this is, I think, why it takes a solid relationship. A real cuckold dynamic isn't some person on the other side of the world and he mails you his key. You're not living a cuckold dynamic. You're living out some fun kinks, which is great. That's fun. The kinks are great, but any dynamic can try those on. And I like to say that the lifestyle is a buffet table, and it's there for everybody. And you can pick and choose things, and if you like it, keep it. And if you don't, then you don't have to take it again. You can just try it. And I think that's especially true for the kinks that are associated with the cuckold dynamic.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense. I mean, it takes so much trust to be in this type of a relationship. I mean, it's critical that you have all those foundations down, or else it crumbles around you, because what you're saying is absolutely true. There is so much emotion involved in this that you have to have a solid foundation with your partner where you can hit pause, you can hit time out, you can have those conversations you need to have. What do you think are some of the biggest mistakes that couples make when entering an interracial cuckold dynamic? Are there specific mistakes that couples make around that? Because I can see that being pretty tricky.
For me, really, the interracial, to say I don't see color is wrong, because I obviously do, because I'm attracted to Black men. But I think couples go into this objectifying the men that they want to have join them in their dynamic. I think referring to these gentlemen as bulls or as BBCs is demeaning and disrespectful. These are men. They're often superior men. And a BBC, that's their appendage. I don't want to be referred to by my tits. I've bumped into a lot of men. I've talked to a lot of men who appreciate being referred to as a gentleman as opposed to their appendage or a bull. So I think that's a mistake.
I use the term bull more to just kind of make clear roles in that specific dynamic. I think sometimes labels can be harmful, and then sometimes they can also be helpful. And so I'll use, the term bull to kind of refer to the role in that particular night's play.
But I do think, one thing that I do super agree with is I think that if you are in a cuckold dynamic, oftentimes the gentleman who is acting as the third is like almost forgotten, like they don't have emotions. And I don't think that's cool. All three people in that room have emotions, and regardless of what game is being played in there, what names are being used or anything, like whatever the dynamic look like, don't forget that everybody in the room is a human being with feelings. And I feel like that's so often forgotten. And I feel like sometimes it's on the fault of the couple. They just,
right.
They're having this guy play this role. Do you see that?
Absolutely. That's such a great point that you make. And it goes along with objectifying, right? You have this other human into your hotel room or your home or wherever you are, and you treat them like they're just there to do a job and then boot them out the door. And these are people, like you said, with feelings too. And they need to be checked in with. They need to be made to feel comfortable. They're not just there to perform a service. They are there to contribute to your relationship in a positive way. And that comes down to a lot how you treat that person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, I've heard from more than one of Lexie's bulls who's like messaged me almost like he's talking to me about, a separate romantic partner. Like, hey, like I miss Lexie right now. Like, how's she doing? Like, and I don't know. Like I prefer to be able to bond and talk to the other guy. Because why not? Like, I mean, we're not rivals here. This isn't like a rivalry thing.
No.
In my mind, it's not. And I don't think I'd want a bull involved or a gentleman involved who did think that way, that it was like a me versus them, because they're not going to win that match. They're just...
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
So,
It is 100%. I mean, the couple's relationship comes first. Their love, their connection, their trust. I've been married it's going to be 32 years in July.
wow.
So we've been around a long time together, and we can read each other very, very well. And part of when I play, if he's not involved, if he's just in the chair, he is interacting with our guest. And because I live in a remote area, most of my play dates are happening at events or are multi-night sleepovers that we've invited somebody to join us camping or something. So.
Yeah.
So how much of this lifestyle is really about sex, and how much is about psychology, power, validation, and identity?
I think that all comes down to the couple and how they live their lifestyle. You can be in the lifestyle, fully in the lifestyle, and only play at events and turn it off when you come home, 2 or 3 times a year. That's it. You can be somebody who goes every single weekend or 2 or 3 times a week and has special people that they see or special couples they connect with. I think for people who really have jumped in fully into the lifestyle, I think it becomes a lot more emotional and psychological, because they are willing to do way more deep dives together with their partner than just, this is just fun and it's what we do 4 times a year on holiday. Yeah. So it can be both. It all depends on how you want to live it.
Yeah. So you have an OnlyFans, is that right?
I do.
And where can guys find you on that? I'll put that one in there.
I am BlondeontheBay everywhere.
BlondeontheBay everywhere. So have you ever had a fan on there? Because I know you have a lot of fans, a lot of followers. Get a little bit kind of creepers or a little bit too clingy or anything like that? Have you ever had anything like that where they got just a little bit maybe too emotionally attached? And how do you handle that?
By blocking. Often. I'm very nice. I talk to everybody. I will answer. I was getting a lot of cucks taking up an awful lot of my time. So I did put out on my X and my FetLife that I will speak with cucks on Sex Panther only, because my time is valuable. And if guys get too pushy, I'll push back and just say, this isn't going to happen. We're not going to continue to talk if you are going to be creepy like this. For the most part, I've had nothing but respectful and kind fans. I have 0% chargeback on OnlyFans, so nobody's tried to get a discount or refund from me yet. But yeah, anywhere on all the social, on all the platforms, I am BlondeontheBay.
You know what's interesting is you bring up a really good point that I've noticed with folks that reach out to Lexie is that, and by the way, I know this too, being a cuck, cucks are super needy, like super needy, and often want to paint the entire picture for you rather than really relinquish that control. Have you noticed that with the folks that reach out to you?
Oh yeah, and I don't do customs, and I don't do what you dictate you want from me, because I'm not here for the money. I'm here because this lifestyle means a lot to me, and sure, I make a little bit on the side, but nothing like people probably think I do. I give a lot of my time away for free, and so if you're going to try and write a script for me to follow and tell me what to wear, it's absolutely not going to happen.
Well, that definitely brings me to my next question, which is, what's the difference between a man who wants to watch and a man who truly embraces submission?
That's a good question. I mean, I think there are so many men in so many different dynamics who just want to watch, right? Like stag vixen couples, that's a man who's just there to watch too. Mm-hmm. Any of the hot wife, anything that falls under that hot wife umbrella, wife-centric situation. A man who's truly interested in submitting, I think, already is submitting to his partner. And then once she's comfortable leading, and then if the gentleman that they invite to join them is quite dominant, and the husband, the cuck, is feeling comfortable submitting, then I think once you get a truly submissive cuck and a female partner who embraces being more bold and taking more of a lead, it can be pretty fucking hot.
So you've been thinking about it. But turning fantasy into reality takes more than curiosity. It takes direction. I work with couples and individuals to guide you through the conversations and dynamics that make a cuckolding relationship actually work. Those first conversations and introductions to your fantasy are especially critical. Done right, it changes everything. Done wrong, it can break it. If you're ready to do it the right way, book time with me at cuckoldresslexie.com.
can be super fun, right?
Yeah.
It can be super fun.
Yeah.
And do you think that after stepping into that more dominant role, has it increased your personal confidence, the way you carry your, like how long, because you said that it was a little bit more difficult for you to step into that more dominant role. What did that evolution look like, and how did it change you as a human being outside of just the dynamics?
Oh, my gosh, I've changed incredibly since just being in the lifestyle. Even I was very, very shy. I had very low self-esteem, very low confidence, and now that I've truly stepped into myself, I am unapologetically confident and just yeah, I feel like I can do anything.
That's
I
awesome.
love to hear that.
That's so good to hear. I mean, didn't you, kind of go through a similar thing?
Oh, absolutely, I did. I was definitely not the most confident person, and this lifestyle, this dynamic has helped me kind of to come into my own and learn to be more outspoken and more demanding, and it's really helped me to kind of blossom into a more confident person.
That's awesome. I love hearing stories about women who have found their way in the lifestyle and found their self and their confidence. I love it when I have been at Splash events in the sort of the last two or three that we've gone to. My focus has changed from playing, not, I do still play, but I'm much more focused on finding the other couples who are there, especially the ones who are nervous. It's their first time, and mentoring these couples and helping them and guiding them along. That's what I get so much compersion from watching a woman or a couple step up and into themselves. It's just, it's fantastic. I love it.
That's wonderful that you do that, and I'm sure that they appreciate it so much.
Yeah, I've had positive feedback, so it's good.
Yeah. What are some boundaries or rules that you believe every couple should establish before opening this door?
Full communication, basically. Rules wise, rules are there to be broken by accident or on purpose and can often lead to so many more difficulties down the road. I think communication is the number one rule. Open, and if you're not at a space in your relationship yet that you do have full communication, you're not ready.
Yeah, I agree. Where do you think, so what's really interesting is this, this lifestyle is becoming more and more popular, and it's just becoming more part of the mainstream. Where do you see the hot wife, cuckold, Queen of Spades lifestyle going in the next several years? Do you see it becoming as mainstream as like E&M and poly, which you can literally put E&M and poly on your Tinder profile or something like that, but you can't put this lifestyle?
Well, I think we need to change that. I think that the cuckold dynamic is becoming a much more, it's floating to the surface a bit more in the lifestyle. It's becoming less of a degrading sort of dynamic. Once people start to understand what it is a bit more, that it's not what you see in mainstream porn. It's not about guys being force-fed shit, and it's not about them having their face ground into the pavement, or like I said before, those are the kinks that are involved and that are associated with our dynamic, but that is not what the dynamic is. Mm-hmm. I wrote a thing. It's on X. It's on FetLife. It's basically my basis for what a cuck is, and it's resonated with a lot of people.
I think that's so true, because most folks who are cucks are in relatively high level positions. They're confident throughout the day. It's almost like when you get to do this, you get to not be in that role for a little bit of time. So yeah, I totally get that.
Right, but it doesn't mean that they're never in that role. It doesn't mean that they're not, strong, powerful men.
Right.
If a curious couple were listening right now and thinking, well, we talked about this fantasy, but we're scared, what would your advice be to them?
I do explore, listen to podcasts like yours and Cuck My Life, Venus, Keys and Anklets, All those, they're great. Read, listen, talk to people, join groups, join Telegram groups. Gosh, I think I'm in like 40 Telegram groups, and I run half a dozen myself for cuckold dynamics and hot wife couples all over North America. So I think it's putting yourself out there and learning as much as you can, figuring out where you're going to start, because I know couples who started at Splash Mocha. That's a huge event. There's 1,000 people there. And that was their very first experience doing anything at all. I also know a couple who started at one of my events. That was their very first time doing anything. And it was smaller, much more intimate. And, both worked out great. It all depends on what your communication is like, how on board she is. Is she doing it just for you? Or does she truly want to do this as well? Because if you take your wife to an event and she has to get sloppy drunk in order to play, you're not ready. That's just not okay.
Agreed, entirely.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens.
Totally agree with that. So you mentioned your events. You have one coming up in Vegas that I'm super excited to hear more about. This sounds super cool. I saw it on your Blue Sky, and I was like, I cannot wait to ask you about it. So can you tell us about the event coming up in Vegas?
Absolutely. Cuckutopia events. It's a Cuckutopia signature event. My co-host is the one and only legend Shawn Michaels himself. Fabulous guy. He's been in the industry for decades. He brought was it something unionized porn workers, and he's still out there. He's still vibrant and fantastic. So our events are for cuckold couples and Black Kings, Black King gentlemen who understand the dynamic and want to be with these couples, because there's a big difference between playing with a hot wife couple and playing with a cuckold couple, because you know that. And if you're a cuckold couple, you get it and you know. And if you have to ask, well, what's a cuckold couple? Then you're not one. And this isn't, these events aren't for you. But it's October 2nd and 3rd, Las Vegas. We have a mansion. Find your own accommodations because we aren't housing people. It's noon till 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday. $100 per person. We do not charge single men more for our events. Everybody pays $100 to come. Husbands, wives, and our gentlemen. And we offer a glass of Prosecco when you first get there. We'll have a light dinner. It's BYOB. We'll keep your bottle, your drinks, whatever behind the bar and serve you from there. Pool party, hot tub, outdoor play spaces, indoor play spaces, group play spaces, private play spaces, and the whole place is clothing optional.
Wow, the works.
Yes.
That sounds so awesome. And for only $100 per person?
Yeah, that's not bad. It's not
Holy
bad at all.
smokes.
The events I used to do were more, they were a 3-night all-inclusive at a house. We could only have 9 couples and 12 guys. And that, there were so many people who wanted to come, and we just couldn't do it enough and couldn't get it out there enough. So I've changed my format. I've partnered up with Shawn, and we have launched Cuckutopia. Website coming soon. Cuckutopia is on X. I don't think it's on Blue Sky. I should get it on Blue Sky. And I have a FetLife group. If you are vetted by me, you get added to my Telegram group once you book. So, yeah. It'll be it's a community.
Yeah, it's great that you widened it and opened it up so that more people could participate and have a chance to enjoy such a amazing event.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I mean, when we first launched last February, the original events that were the 3-night events, they were just called Utopia, and we had probably 50 or 60 couples sign up in the first 3 or 4 months, and we could only take 9. Wow. So I just felt horrible that all these couples had jumped through our hoops, and yet the first 9 who paid got the spot. So this way we can have up to 100 people. So what I'm looking for 30 couples and 40 guys.
Wow.
Wow.
We
That
always
is a
have more
lot.
gentlemen than women because the women can last longer than the men. We like to
Love
say,
it.
we tell these guys, you can't outfuck these women. Do not try. You, guys need breaks. Women don't. So
This is true.
it is,
So,
you know.
so is that a challenge? Like, am I, is that what I have coming, Lexie? Is you not needing a break?
We'll see.
We'll see. Sounds like a pretty fun event. Maybe you'll see us there.
I would love to see you guys there. And we can consider this your vetting process.
Right.
No, this is awesome. This has been so much fun. So for anybody who wants to find you or learn anything else, I know you just mentioned the Cuckutopia. How else can guys find you or anybody find you?
I'm on X, Blonde on the Bay, FetLife, Blonde on the Bay, OnlyFans, Blonde on the Bay, BlondeontheBay at gmail.com, Cuckutopia at gmail.com. I think that's it. Sex Panther, but I have it muted right now. So
Okay. Very nice. Very nice.
Awesome. Awesome.
Well, let's, and we'd love to have you weigh in. I think we're going to do one or two listener questions. We're going to do one here.
oh sure.
We have two
We
questions.
have two questions. Okay, great. All right.
So
you want to
first
read this?
one is from Prague, actually. My partner and I have talked about trying a hot wife cuckold dynamic, but we disagree on how much detail should be shared afterward. One of us wants full honesty and play-by-play details, and the other thinks that that could become emotionally overwhelming. How do couples usually navigate this?
What are your thoughts first?
I think that if you're both not on board on the same page, then it's probably a no-go. You know, if one of you wants full disclosure, I think that it's the responsibility of the other person to provide that.
Yeah.
There should not be any secrets.
Yeah, I think you
Agreed.
both have to be on the exact same page on that because Lexie and I kind of go back and forth on this. Like sometimes it'll be completely full disclosure, and eventually it all is full disclosure, but sometimes she makes it painful to like bring it, she makes me earn every little detail the next day or for the next few days.
Damn right.
Which I think is, if you can actually get to that point, I think it's super fun because it extends that one event. Because a lot of times, women who reach out to Lexie for coaching, they'll say, my husband wants this all the time. I don't know what the fuck to do all the time. Like, I don't have enough shit to say to him. And so when you do something like that, where Lexie is like, I will tell you like one little piece of information per day for the next 14 days, it extends that one thing. And for me, like I'm now to the point where I enjoy that. So I don't know, but it really depends on the couple.
Well, I think it also it can become exhausting if there's no amount of details that will satiate the cuck. You know, if he is just like, and then what? Okay, well that wasn't enough detail. Tell me more. Okay, great. Tell me more, but tell me like exactly this, and you know, wants to orchestrate the whole thing and just bugs the ever-loving shit out of her. You know, I think that it can become a little too much. You know, I could see it both ways. I could see her not divulging enough information and him feeling kind of emotionally left out of the process. But then I can also see him just pestering the ever-loving shit out of her and just making her be like, oh my gosh, I've told you like everything. How many different ways do I have to tell you how he penetrated me? You know, like there's only so many ways to tell you this.
It sounds like we struck a nerve here, honey, on something
No,
that
no. I've talked with so many couples about this. And so like I can feel their pain. I can feel their frustration. I get it. Like I can feel what they are trying to tell me is going on. And so like I can see it both ways. I can see it from every which way.
Yeah, I think there's definitely different ways to do it. I mean, if they're talking about a hot wife situation or even a cuckold situation, he can be there. Like he can watch, right? Like, or if she doesn't want him there, doesn't want him to watch, or that's not comfortable for them yet, voice recording. Sometimes it's really, I mean, that's
Absolutely.
hot, like super hot. Or FaceTime. Let him watch a little bit of it through FaceTime, or put your phone, put it on record, and just leave it, and then send him like you said, meter it out. Send him like 2 or 3 minutes at a time over a week. That's a huge turn on because they feel like they're right there in the moment, They hear your voice. They hear your breathing. They hear the bed squeaking and lube and slurping. You know, they hear all the noises, and their cuck brains just explode. They're imagining everything. And yeah, we've done that. That's been really fun.
I think that's a genius way to do it. I really do. I should try that.
Yes, please do that. That's amazing.
I haven't thought of that exact way to do it. That's genius.
And even better, through Locktober. And that's another thing. My Cuck Utopia events, it kicks off Locktober.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you've done a full month, but Locktober very quickly turns into No Nut November.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. Well, okay. I still want to go.
Attaboy.
Yeah. All right. Let's really quickly. Oh, actually, this question is actually from Vancouver, which is cool. So this question is from Canada, and it is: I am a single guy who's deeply attracted to cuckolding fantasies, but I worry that bringing it up while dating will scare women away or make them judge me. No kidding. That is a definite concern. When is the right time for me to introduce the conversation, and how honest should you be early on? That's a really freaking good conversation. So let's say you have this desire for cuckolding, and you're on a more vanilla dating site that doesn't have you put that kind of level of detail. At what point do you bring it up in the dating process? Is it like right away? Like what are your thoughts?
Gosh, I haven't dated for 34 years. I would say you need to build trust and build a relationship before you hit this poor woman with, you to cuck me. You know, she's going to be like, what the fuck kind of freak are you? Red flags going up all over the place. Establish trust. Start having open communication at the very beginning of your relationship. Make her comfortable enough to talk about her past sexual experiences. Most women are very nervous to bring up their sexual past because they don't want to be judged. Society still today looks at women who have had, an active sex life as being sluts and whores, and, just it's derogatory and it's negative, and it shouldn't be, but it is. And so I think if you can make her feel comfortable being proud of what she has done in her past, and then, if there's some story that she has where maybe it's slightly less than vanilla or a little bit more, a little more fun, a little more risque, get her talking about that. Like, wow, that's hot. I wouldn't be mad if you did that. I would think that's really cool. That's how you're going to get a woman comfortable enough with you, trust you enough for you to be able to then bring up, like, oh my gosh, I had this dream last night about you doing this with this guy, and I thought I would be mad, but I was so turned on. What do you think about that? That's how you bring it up.
Wow. That was so freaking well said. Like, I've advised the dream scenario you just mentioned before, but all of that prior to it, like, I don't even know how to follow that. That was beautiful. That was really so good. Well done.
I think the only thing to follow it is advice of what not to do. Don't do what I did, which is throw it out in a text message, on week 3 of dating.
Yeah.
Where were we on?
I don't know,
5?
but
it was very, very early on. But to be fair, Lexie had been pretty open prior to that about her past and her just how sexually open she was and all that kind of stuff. So we had already started.
Had I been?
You had been, and that's sure? I'm positive, and that's why I felt comfortable enough to send you that text. Otherwise, I'm not that stupid. So there was some kind of foundation, but I had not brought up this dynamic.
But you felt that the door had been opened.
I felt that the door had been open enough, but I still shouldn't have done it over text.
No.
Still a bad move. Still a bad move.
This is a really nice meal and wine.
Right?
Right.
That would have been much better, because at that time I was trying to woo her with all my cooking and all that stuff. So I just should have done it at one of those times.
Yeah.
But thank you again for being.
Yeah, here we are. It worked out.
It worked out.
It did.
Thank you again for being on. We really appreciate your time. Blonde on the Bay. You are fantastic. You are you are just a wise person when it comes to this. I hope that people reach out to you and for advice, and please go to the Vegas event. I hope this thing sells out in the next several weeks because this thing sounds amazing. So book now. Like really, this sounds incredible.
It really does. Like, I mean, I'm sold. Like, that sounds amazing. I think that you've put together such an incredible event. I think it's going to be sold out in no time. I'm surprised it's not already. It's so incredible. Great job. Thank you so much for joining us. We super appreciate it. We've loved chatting with you, and like you said, you're just a wealth of knowledge, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We will talk to you again very soon. Lexie, you want to say bye to everybody?
Bye, guys.